Good morning. It's extremely hot today. This is early morning. We like to get out and try to do as much of this as we can while it's cool. You can probably tell I'm already sweating like a pig, so it's very hot, so we're trying to get this done kind of quick in the morning. But what we've got going on is we just moved our goats into a new pasture. We moved them a little early, but we did that for a reason. We've got some more goats that are coming tomorrow. This particular pasture, we have all of our fences set where we're using our poly wire on one side and the rest of our wires on the other side, but it's electric. And so we wanted to get our goats that we have now in here before the other ones arrived, because when they arrive, they don't know what an electric fence is. So they're going to have to all get shocked probably before they discover it. And so that's going to be a challenge. And I felt like if we could get our goats in here first, the new goats would be more apt to kind of hook up with them and hang with them, because, you know, they're a herding type of animal, because that's safety for them. So we've got them in here. Now, it's kind of funny how these new goats are going to get here, or how we found out about them, or where they came from. And we'll talk a little bit more about that as we go along in the video. But it's amazing how things kind of fall in place when they're supposed to. And we always try to be open to that. This particular pasture is one of just a few where we can get a truck in with a long trailer and unload. Just so happens we're right next door to it when we're supposed to take delivery of the goats. So it's just amazing how that works. But stay with us. It's kind of interesting where they're coming from and what they are, and we'll cover all that. So, you know, we've been trying to grow our herd a little bit at a time by promoting from within, using our own billies and saving all of our females, and we've been doing that for a while now. The last 2 years, we've really got into a successful model that we use for our management. And so we felt really strong about getting some more goats to kind of help us increase faster. And we would have liked to have found goats like we had, and it was just difficult to find any. And Brent called me and said, "Hey, I'm getting out of the goats." And I said, "You know, it's so funny that you called, you know, because we've been trying to find some, and yeah, we're very interested in them." Okay, so we made it. We got them unloaded. The goats actually came from friends of ours that we've had for probably 30 years. It's where we got our first set of goats. So these goats are related to the ones we already have. That's why they were so important for us to get them. Now that we've got them here, when we unloaded them, I brought a bucket of corn with me in hopes that I could stop them and have them wait, because we loaded all the kids on the nose of the trailer, which that might have been a mistake. At least I thought it might have been. As we were coming back, I was thinking about that. But it worked really well. We went ahead and opened the gates in between all the sections in the trailer and allowed them to kind of get together a little bit. And as I started calling the goats, my goats, Lisa and mine's goats, I should say, she'll get on to me if I don't say our goats, they started coming. And so they were all right here, and everybody's eating corn. So as those goats came off the truck, they just fell right into the other ones, and everybody just gathered right there. So we made it through that hurdle. Now, well, there was one other hurdle that was immediate right there, and that was the other dogs. I wanted to make sure that I was here for Red especially, and White.
Come here, Red. Red. Hey. Hey. Red. Get out. Hey. 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 Attaboy. Easy. Got it. Attaboy. boy. They're on our side. Got it. Good guy. Good guy. Got it.
I just wanted to make sure that everybody was on the same page. Number one, that we're all protecting goats here. And number two, that my dogs knew that I brought these here. And then they typically will get along. Now, I'm sure they're gonna have to do some pecking order stuff down the road, and I understand that, but we'll just have to keep a close eye on them. The one thing left is the fences. And that is the whole reason I wanted Lisa and I to go ahead and move our goats in here. Was I wanted these goats to hook up with ours first and then stay with ours, because ours will not go through the fence. They've been shocked. And so that means hopefully that these won't just strike off in a trot or a run somewhere and just accidentally roll through the fence type of thing. As long as they get up there easy to it and start looking and go, hey, what's that? And put their nose out on it and it busts them, I don't think we'll have any problems with the fence. But that is still a concern. So we're hoping that that's not an issue. I think what we'll do now is we'll probably go ahead and get in the truck and just make a pass down there and just look. But I just want to get a peek around this corner and make sure everything's okay. Well, there's a big wad of them right there, and that's not where they're supposed to be. So much for that plan. We'll have to go back and get the scooters. There's a dog that's gone through this way. Well, just what we were trying to prevent. I don't know if you can see them back here. But they went down the hill and just went right through that poly wire. They were striking out. So Shane and I are down here trying to figure out what to do. And I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna move the other goats into this pasture with them in the morning. It's so hot right now that I think it'll really, it'll be hard on everything. The dogs are down here. The dogs don't know what to do yet as far as us. Shane and I are down here and they're barking at us and all that stuff, so we don't want to get them all juiced up. So I'm just going to leave, and then we'll come back in the morning, move the other goats in here with them, and see if that doesn't fix things. So we're fixing to turn the billies out that came with the nannies. And if you've watched any of our old videos, several of these in here are from the B team. This is supposed to be the B team, but by the looks of them, they look more like the A team. Come on. It's like they've been here before. Hey, good morning. Last night, or yesterday afternoon, the goats just... What happened was when we unloaded, I was trying to get them to stop with those other goats. That's why I was throwing corn and hollering at them, and it appeared to be going really well. And the dogs started coming off the truck, and I got focused on the dogs, which I don't know that it would have mattered. While I was focusing on the dogs, you can see in the video, the far end of the goats are starting down this way. And that's what I was trying to prevent, was trying to prevent them from really striking out and heading this way, because I didn't want them to do that, because I thought they might hit this fence, and I needed them to ease into the fence. And sure enough, they came down here and went straight through it. So this morning, I'm down here to see what I need to do to get it straight. We came down yesterday afternoon, and it was not good. It was 102 or 3 or something like that. And I just didn't want to move anything in that. So just so happens they're right here where they were laying next to this fence where they went through yesterday. So they went back in here. I've been trying to call them with my corn and they're not responding, which I understand. They just got here. They don't know how I work. So I'm going to see if I can get around them and ease them this way. They've definitely been shocked. See how they're just stopping right there on that line. You know, I gotta keep an eye on this dog over here too. There they go. Now I gotta get out of here. There we go. Duck ladies. Duck ladies. Now I need him to just go hook up with the other ones. So now here's the bad part about it, is they were shaded up last night and were very content. That's why we didn't want to mess with them. But I could not give them access to water because then I would kill the entire fence. But a goat, that's not going to hurt them. They were in water all morning yesterday. And so now they've got water. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to see if I can't hook them up with the other ones. You know, hindsight on yesterday, the best scenario would have been to unload them in a smaller pasture with an electric fence in the middle of the pasture or somewhere in the pasture where they can be contained, but they can all hit the fence. That would have prevented that happening yesterday afternoon, but I just didn't have that option. I didn't feel like I could get them down here to the other goats like I needed to. So we went ahead and did it like we did. And hindsight, again, I should have had somebody down here by this poly wire just to kind of act as a little bit of barrier. I think if you would have checked them up when they kind of started striking out and allowed them to turn and maybe go down the fence and just, you know, slowly be introduced to the fence, that's when you get them. But it looks like it's going to work out because I've got them back in where they need to be. I saw 3 of the new dogs when I came in here and they started kind of heading out that way. I can hear the other herd up that direction. And so I'm going to go ahead and strike these that way. Or I'll call mine down, but I'd like to get them away from this poly wire a little bit because, you know, if they get to running and striking, there'll be some that'll go through it or over it again. These goats are still, of course we just got them, but they're very sensitive to us still. I would anticipate that maybe they haven't had somebody around them every single day maybe. And we don't spend a lot of time with ours, but if they start acting where they're nervous, you know, we'll get a little bit of corn and scatter it and just kind of walk through them. Or when I get down here in the morning to feed the dogs, I'll walk through them. So that's something that we're going to still have to work on. But I'm excited how they've responded once I kind of got them over here where they're supposed to be with the other ones, ours. They immediately got in this brush, and now I'm having to be real quiet around them, and I can't drive up close to them. I've got to kind of get off and slip up there. And that's for them as much as it is for that young dog, because she immediately starts alerting when I start kind of coming in, and then everybody starts getting nervous. She's good. That's the kind of dog we want. We want them to alert, and then we want them to take care of what's happening. And she's good. The other 3 that came with them, I've seen glimpses of them. You know, they're like a bunch of ghosts. You know, I don't know, but they're like a bunch of ghosts. And so I like to see them eat. What I've done is I've put some piles out here around the goats, and I bet you they're watching me. And so I'm going to head out, then I'll check next time I come down and just see if it's been hit and hope that that's what it is. The bottom line is observe and adjust. Pay attention to your animals. Try to predict maybe how they might act based on your experience with their behavior. And then be prepared to adjust if you have to, which is what we're doing. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you next time.